before you try any of the crazy stuff that you see in surviving in Alabama, I recommend that you seek serious professional counseling first.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Surviving in Alabama. Do you like coffee? I like coffee. He likes coffee. In fact, he actually has his own coffee business. This is Justin, and he's visiting for a couple of days, and he's going to show us how he started in the coffee business. Just at home, you can roast your own beans with no help, all by yourself, and this is how you do it. We're going to unbox what?
We're going to unbox popcorn popper and the necessary tools, and then we've got some green coffee bean samples that we'll talk about.
All right, green coffee beans. So that's all they are, is raw and dried, correct?
That's it.
So just plain old coffee beans, nothing special, and you're gonna make your own flavors. You're gonna roast it to your taste, and you're gonna do it all at home, just like this. Now I'm learning too. I don't know what I'm doing, never done it before. He's gonna show us. It's on you.
Hey y'all, my name is Justin. I'm the co-owner and head roaster for One Acre Coffee, and teaming up with Surviving in Alabama. I wanted to show you guys the way that I got started in roasting coffee, which is super simple. In my opinion, there's many different ways to do it, but this is the most consistent and inexpensive way to do it, which takes less than 10 minutes to get you some roasted coffee.
So tell them how much this setup right here cost.
So this setup right here with the popcorn popper, the custom sleeve, and then 4 half-pound samples of different green coffee beans. Right now, at the time of this filming, runs you about $40, and you can find it on sweetmarias.com is where I picked this up from.
So once you have the popper, all you got to do is source your beans, and at home, anybody can do this for very inexpensive. Is that right?
That's it. Super inexpensive. You can get fresh roasted, exotic coffees. If you do the work yourself, you can get it for less than half the cost if you were to buy it off the shelf at a supermarket. And it's going to be way fresher.
Half the cost. Now, Folgers, and Maxwell House, exactly. So Folgers and Maxwell House, which is not my favorite coffees, even though I drink them. I mean, hey, I'm just blue collar, everyday Joe.
Sure.
And I can make this and get a premium quality coffee a lot cheaper than that. Is that what you're saying?
100%. Absolutely.
Well, let's unbox it and see what we got.
All right. So the first thing that we got here is the hot air popcorn popper. And it's exactly what you would think of. Some of us older folks, I guess, would remember this style of hot air popcorn popper that we might have grown up with. That's what it was designed for, but somebody got curious one day and asked the question, can I roast coffee with it? And the answer is yes. So you've got your whole setup here. Now, one of the things that you need to pay attention to, you can buy hot air popcorn poppers in other places than Sweet Maria's, but the difficulty becomes how the air comes through. So if you can see in the middle of that, this is designed where the air just goes straight up. The ideal roaster that you would want, or hot air popcorn popper, there's little fins inside which keep the air swirling. That'll give it an even roast. So the idea was, all right, since those ones with the fins are so hard to find, how are we going to overcome this issue, since what we're finding a lot more is the one where the air is flowing straight up. And so they have designed this little insert, and the idea is that when the hot air comes up and the beans are forced up, it ends up circulating the beans all around in there, and so it just drops right into there, and now you can roast your coffee.
Pretty neat.
And that's all there is to it. And so we've got some samples here. We've got a Nicaragua, Tanzania, a Brazil, and a Mexico.
All right, so just for the layman,
Sure.
what is the difference in the coffee bean? Is that just where they're from, or is it the type of plant, or is it both?
So it's where it's from, it's the type of soil that the coffee shrub is grown in, and it's also the elevation. So The higher the elevation of where you're growing your coffee, the sweeter, fruitier, more floral you'll get. The lower the elevation, the more nutty, chocolatey flavors that you'll get out of it. But it has to do with elevation and soil type.
Okay.
All right, so what I've got the popcorn popper set up here. I've got the custom sleeve inserted. This little butter melting tray is what it was originally designed for a popcorn popper. But you can roast 1/4 pound at a time in this, which just happens to be the same exact size as this particular butter dish. But if you have a different machine with not the same size dish, that's fine. Measure out about 1/4 pound, 4 ounces, 1/3 cup, whatever works for you, you'll find out for your roaster. So what I'm gonna do, since I've got these set up, I've also got my stopwatch here, and we're gonna keep track of about how long it takes. One of the things that it's going to determine how long it takes to roast your coffee is the ambient temperature, so the temperature of wherever you're roasting. Which reminds me, don't roast inside the house. It creates a lot of smoke, it blows chaff, it just makes a mess. I learned that the hard way. I set off the smoke alarm the first time I did it. So as you can see, we're doing it outside. And right now the temperature is somewhere around 95, 97 degrees. So it might decrease our roasting time just a little bit. So let's get started. All right, so that's going. And you can actually look down inside. And you can see what that deflector blade is doing is it's making it circulate instead of just blowing it up and down at the same time.
All right, y'all see the chaff coming out of there? That's what is that? That's the outside of the bean?
On the outside of the coffee bean, there's a thin skin layer. So what happens when you're roasting coffee is it swells, it gets larger. So when it swells and gets larger, that outer protective piece cracks and just flies off. It's not necessary. It doesn't add to the flavor of the coffee. And so we just let it go where it goes.
As you can see, if you were doing this outside, it would definitely, inside, it would definitely make a mess.
If you look, you can see the color changing already. From that green color, now it's like a honey color.
So we're roasting right now, and it is roasting before our very eyes. It's turning brown, right? While you're watching it. And so you can do this at home. I know you can. If I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm not that bright. Okay, so just to tell you what's going on, look at it right there. It's turning brown and roasting right here. And he didn't do anything special to it, okay? So just so you know. Now, there is a little smoke coming off. It's starting to look like dark roast right now. Of course, I don't know what medium really looks like. Look how dark it is.
Yeah, right there is about medium roast, so we're actually good to stop it. Which that puts us at 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
3 minutes and 40 seconds. Oh my gosh, that's quick.
And then what you want to do is right away you want to cool it. Should have thought.
So how do you cool it?
Could have.
All right,
Don't do that. Don't touch that part.
All right, we almost had an emergency room trip.
We did. But as soon as so what you want to do as soon as it's done roasting is you want to take it out and put it into something like a colander, a bowl, something where you can get the beans moving, because they will continue to cook, continue to roast, even though the actual machine is not running. And if you don't cool them down quickly, then you'll end up with a darker roast than you intended.
So do not spray them with water, correct?
Correct. Don't spray it with water. You can blow a fan on it. You can blow on it, but don't spray it with water.
Could you set it in the freezer?
You can set it in the freezer. It'll actually cool it off a lot quicker. I think I'm going to do that now.
Daddy, Mom.
Come on. Hey, are you going to try the coffee?
No.
Why not?
That was quick. She didn't.
Are you going to try the coffee?
No. My dad do like coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
No, doesn't drink
Why not?
She's 8.
mint. I just drink mint.
Okay. All right, what are we doing?
So right now we're nursing my burn. Remember I touched that piece of metal that I told you never to touch, and I did it anyways. So we've got this aloe plant here in the kitchen. And Mr. Surviving in Alabama chopped me off a piece. And so just squeezing it out onto my hand, and it's incredible how quickly it feels better from a plant. Another great thing you learn, surviving in Alabama. All right, so we are all set. In 3 minutes and 40 seconds with this particular roaster, you can see the color. That's about a medium to a medium dark roast. And that's gonna taste great tomorrow.
So what do we have to do now? We got to wait and let it cool all the way down?
Yep, so you gotta just let it cool down, and then we can put it in either preferably a bag that has a one-way seal on it. But if we don't have one of those, you can put it in a Ziploc bag and just leave one corner cracked open a bit. The idea is that when coffee beans are roasted, they give off CO2. So if I was to put this in a Ziploc bag and completely seal it, before tomorrow morning, that bag would pop back open again because of all the CO2 built up inside of it. So that's why in the supermarkets you'll see a lot of coffee bags with a small circle and a hole. It's a one-way valve. It lets the carbon dioxide out, and it keeps any air from coming in and causing the coffee to go stale.
So if I'm understanding you right, the people standing in line at Starbucks are actually contributing to global warming. Is that correct?
That's correct. Absolutely. All that CO2. So what you want to do is you want to let the coffee rest for 24 to 48 hours to get a lot of that CO2 off. You can drink it right away. I could go inside right now, grind it, brew it, and it would taste okay. But if I want like peak flavor, I need to give it 24 to 48 hours to off gas is what they call it. And that'll give me a really, really great flavor.
All right, so explain to everybody, how do you get flavored beans?
Ooh. So there's 2 different ways to get flavored beans. It depends on what the question is that's being asked. Most people, when they hear flavored beans, they're thinking like French vanilla or hazelnut or something like that. In order to get that, they actually coat the coffee beans, they spray it with some type of liquid, and it coats the outside of it. That's the flavoring that you see on the supermarket shelf. However, what most people don't know is that coffee by default has its own natural flavors, own natural aromas that it'll give off. So this, for instance, this one we use the Nicaragua, but this Tanzania, if I was to roast this, it's going to give a slightly different flavor. I'm going to notice either more nuts, more chocolate, more fruitiness, etc. And that's all because of the natural flavors of the coffee bean.
So in essence, it's better to not do anything to it. It would be a better coffee.
It 100%. If it's fresh roasted coffee. The problem is that the majority, and I'm saying over 95% of what you find in the supermarket is actually already stale. Coffee by default starts to go stale after about a week after roasting. And you've got the giant coffee manufacturers that it could sit in their warehouse for 90 days or longer before they actually ship it to the end user, ship it to the supermarket, to the coffee shop, etc. And so we don't know the difference because most of us are just always used to drinking stale coffee. But I guarantee you'll notice something different with fresh roasted coffee. And you'll either love it or you'll hate it. But everybody who I know who likes coffee loves fresh roasted coffee.
Okay, one more question.
Sure.
How long will a green, like these dry beans, how long can you keep them? For people that are preparedness minded, that want to put back some beans for long-term storage in case the apocalypse happens, and they just, when the world's coming to an end, they want to have a good roasted cup of coffee. How long will those beans last so they'll know?
As long as you keep them in a properly climate controlled room and the humidity level is not high, you can keep them, and some people are gonna balk at me for saying this, but you can keep coffee beans, raw coffee beans, for a year or two and
Okay.
roast them up just fine.
Okay. And while they're in the green state, could you put them in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers to make them last longer?
That's a great question. I've never come. I can't see why not, because
Okay.
it would keep it fresher. But
Hey, if you don't know, you don't know, because I don't know of anybody that's keeping green coffee beans long term.
True.
They always the already roasted stuff or the coffee itself they keep long term.
Yeah, but it would be far better for you to keep the green coffee beans and then just roast on demand.
So when the whole country's burning down, you're sitting back with a nice fresh roasted cup of coffee.
100%.
You saw it. We roasted beans right here at the house with a popcorn popper. Can you believe that? I mean, that's so simple, so easy. Anybody can do it. And I like coffee, and I like fresh coffee, but I don't get fresh coffee too often. So look, this is just my personal preference. If I have Folgers, Maxwell House, or one of them, I put a little sugar in it. But if it's a good quality, not stale cup of coffee, I don't put anything in it because I think it messes it up. I just like it black then. So this is a way I can have black coffee that's good, doesn't have, one more thing.
Yeah.
Is this organic or not?
There are some organic beans and some non-organic beans.
Okay. Is an organic bean better?
Depends on your preference. I don't really care either way. I don't
Okay.
notice the difference in flavor, but some people are all about that organic.
Okay. Well, that's need to know information. I'm kind of lean towards I don't like chemicals, even though I eat them and pretty much everything that's eaten around here. But when I can, I do like to get the organic stuff, and the stuff that I grow, very, very little stuff. I don't put anything on most of it. And if I do, then it is some kind of organic, like neem oil or something like that. All right, signing off this video. That's a wrap. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell them about your business and website.
OneAnchorCoffee.com is our coffee roasting business. You can order on the site and have it shipped anywhere in the United States.
One Anchor, is that O-N-E?
O-N-E.
Anchor Coffee.
That's it.
All right, go check them out. Oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless.
My name is Justin Ellsworth, CEO of One Anchor Coffee Roasting, and you are watching Mayhem. I am Justin Ellsworth, CEO of One Anchor Coffee, and you are watching Mayhem Country Living.